Alright, hello everyone. Here we are back for a hole 2 tutorial here. And what I'm going to do here is put on a Win 5 ball again. If you guys saw my guide from yesterday, we're going to do the exact same thing. Only difference being we'll probably try to find a way to get a easier drive up there. So for instance, let me just throw quarterback on. Another thing that you can do is kind of reduce the top spin that I did yesterday. I mentioned that I think I used 3-ish top spin. It just rolled too far. I mentioned if you maybe backed off to maybe 1, that you can probably get yourself in very good position. I'm going to just switch to quarterback. It's going to cover a lot of the bases. If guys don't have Apocalypse, I'll just use quarterback instead. So let me put on QB10. I'm going to probably use a plus 10 elevation here. You do shoot down to a little bit lower target. Additionally, with the headwind, also something to be thinking about, going a little bit extra because of that as well. Now, do keep in mind that I do have a 2 power ball on. So if you don't have a 2 power ball, you might want to go with rock in replace of the QB for that little bit of extra yardage. So that would be about, 8 yards extra? And it might really help you get this one out where you want. What I'm going to recommend, for all of you watching, don't try to get over that bunker. There you can see an Apoc 7 trying to get over the bunker. It's not going to go too well. Even if you get over, you have the chance of running through if you don't do it just right. I remember in the Cinco de Mayo tournament, winding up with water balls trying to do that. So here, let's try to look at maybe about kind of this territory for a land zone with about 2 topspin. And I'm also going to, use that 8.1-ish rings. I was trying to set up kind of intentionally to where I was going to have no power. So you can see kind of what I was doing here. Perfect ball. And the goal is to just kind of get it threaded over in between the bunker here. And that looks pretty good. Pretty good overall. And the less power that you have on the ball, of course this is a power 2 ball, the easier the dunk attempt. So what I mentioned yesterday, I might be able to back off that topspin a little bit if necessary. Today I have a power 2 ball. Yesterday I had, a power 1 ball. So power 2 ball is going to make it a little bit more challenging. I might get myself, and that's another thing. I had power, the difference between power 2 and power 3, 0.10 rings. But something that, is more important to be factoring in for an approach shot. So you definitely want to make sure that you get your bases covered. And let's take a look here. Well, first off, I got to make sure that I'm going to be in zone. I'm too close again. So I'm going to have to, no, I mentioned that I was going to kind of lay it back intentionally. So I'm just going to, since you haven't seen the thorn shot, for today I'm just going to hit it backwards and we'll get it in the thorn range. So you guys did see me do an end bringer yesterday. I showed you the adjustment. There's no point of giving you that exact same adjustment back to back. So I'm just going to back up here and show you how to do it with thorn. So what I'll do is, here's 7.3, and it's basically telling me to go 2.1 rings at max. You have a little bit so if you can see that you have quite a bit of margin of error as well. So what you're going to see me do is right around here. Perfect ball. And right into the stick. So right around 2 rings there is what I was going, putting the center of the cup. And you'll see that you'll be able to easily get that dunk. One of the things that you just have to worry about is, driving it too far. So you can see that, I put it in the end bringer range. What I recommend is, the thorn dunk, because you can see that the ball comes in much lower, stays out of the wind, and I only have to go 2 rings. And you guys, if you guys watched my other video from yesterday with the end bringer, I had to do that dunk shot with maybe 10 or 11 rings. It was quite substantial, or I forget what the wind was, but it was a very substantial. And if you need to watch that, I would recommend knowing both, just in case you do drive it too far. You can see what I did was about 2 topspin. You probably back off and use 1 topspin. Had I used my bend arrow ball there, though, it would have actually been perfect. So, the difference was basically a power ball. Was what caused my problem there. So, that's what I would recommend for you guys. Here you can see I have quarterback. This should make things pretty easy. I'm going to use kind of right in here and be right around 8 rings or so. 1 per ring. Right at max. Oh, not quite where I wanted to land it, so it didn't run out. So I needed to get it just a little bit longer off that fairway. It would have had a better release. You could see it kind of hit an upslope on that second hop. It cost me some yardage. However, I picked it up, so not a big deal. It was a very tricky wind. With that much wind, it makes the shot a little bit harder. But, good luck with that second hole, guys. There's 2 different perspectives for you to look through. I do really recommend, laying up to that thorn range. And I'm definitely going to recommend this wind 5. You can see that this is the only thing that I'm essentially doing. So even if you only had a wind 4 ball, that's okay. But I'm going to really recommend that you guys essentially just go for that dunk. As you can see, somebody who goes for the dunk like me, I can pretty much guarantee at a higher rate than the guy that's trying to do that side wind pitch with the end bringer and try to roll it in the front. So, that guy who's trying that is eventually going to miss, especially, at varying ranges. It's going to be very challenging. And the only really way that I feel that I'm going to miss that dunk is if I hit a great ball. So, it really does give you a very, very good chance to make it. So hopefully you can get that shot to drop. Just, keep in mind the biggest tip that I can give you is make sure that you're setting your power perfectly. There's 2 components to a dunk. There's the power portion and there's the ring adjustment. So both of those together factored in are what you need to make sure that you, have both elements spot on. You can't do a perfect ring adjustment and then set your power just fractionally off. So what you see me setting my power to, make sure that you're copying that, because there's so much room for error inside that shot circle. There's at least, on a thorn, there's at least a ring to a ring and a half of error. And you can see with, if you miss, a ring and a half off, for instance, that's not going to be in the hole. It's going to, either hit short or it could go long and hit the pin too hard. So you do want to be very, very careful. So good luck with that second hole, and catch you guys on hole 3 coming up.